My life in the suburbs seemed perfect to the outside world. A spacious home with a large backyard, a sparkling pool reflecting the sun, a diligent husband, and a 20-year-old son on the brink of graduating college. But behind the closed doors, things were far from ideal. My husband Mike spent most of his time at work, and when he was home, he was either engrossed in his phone or watching TV. The connection we once shared had faded, and I often felt invisible in my own marriage. One Saturday afternoon, something caught my attention. Marcus, my son Eric's best friend, had been coming over for months. He was a polite and confident young man, but on this particular day, I saw him in a new light. Eric had invited Marcus over to swim in the backyard pool, and as I stood in the kitchen, I saw him from the sliding door. There he was, standing at the pool's edge, his athletic body glistening with water under the sun. He dove in effortlessly, resurfacing with a grin that revealed perfect teeth. It wasn't just his looks that captivated me, it was the way he carried himself, confident and self-assured, a stark contrast to Mike's distant demeanor. I felt a stir within me, one I hadn't experienced in years. I quickly brushed the feeling aside, focusing on my chores, but I couldn't shake the image of Marcus from my mind. Over the next few weeks, Marcus started coming over more often, spending time with Eric. They worked out in the garage, played video games late at night, and hung out by the pool. Every time Marcus was around, I felt more aware of his presence. One afternoon, while Eric ran to the store, Marcus came inside to grab a drink. As he reached for a glass, our hands brushed. It was a fleeting moment, but it sent a shock through me. I pulled my hand back quickly, hoping he hadn't noticed. I told myself it was nothing, but as he left the kitchen, I couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, I sat by the pool alone under the moonlight. The gentle ripples in the water mirrored the turmoil in my heart. I couldn't deny it anymore. I was drawn to Marcus. I told myself it was just a harmless crush, something that would pass with time. But deep down, I knew I couldn't ignore what was happening between us. The days that followed were filled with stolen glances and moments of tension. It wasn't just attraction anymore, it was something deeper, something I couldn't explain. One evening, as I cleaned up in the kitchen, Marcus came in. He offered to help, but instead, he leaned against the counter, watching me. His words, "You work too hard," were the first kindness I'd heard in ages. Something about the way he said it made me pause. I was a wife and a mother, but in that moment, I was something else, a woman who hadn't felt seen in a long time. The following days brought more small touches and lingering looks, and though I knew it was dangerous, I found myself unable to pull away. One afternoon, while Eric was out running errands, Marcus stayed behind. I was sitting on the patio when he joined me. We exchanged casual conversation, but then he asked, "You seem different lately, everything okay?" His concern felt genuine, and it struck a chord deep within me. I knew it was time to make a decision whether to pull away or to give in. The moment I had been avoiding came when Mike and Eric went to a baseball game, and the house was quiet. Marcus stayed behind, and as we sat together in the living room, the tension between us grew unbearable. Finally, I stopped pretending everything was fine. We kissed, and everything I had been holding back came flooding to the surface. Afterward, as I lay beside him, reality began to creep in. I realized what I had done, and guilt began to take root. "This can't happen again," I whispered, but I knew in my heart that it wasn't over. It couldn't be. The affair continued in secret. Every stolen moment with Marcus felt like a rebellion against everything I had known, but guilt gnawed at me constantly. One day, Mike found Marcus's hoodie left behind, and though I brushed it off, I couldn't shake the fear that the truth was getting closer to being revealed. The next few weeks were filled with mounting tension, every touch and every glance a reminder of the secret I was hiding. Then one evening, as I prepared dinner, the inevitable happened. Mike and Eric were out, and Marcus and I were alone in the kitchen. The air between us was thick with anticipation. It was only a matter of time before everything came crashing down.